The meeting of Kiambu politicians with Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga has confused many. Indeed, renowned political analyst Professor Mutai Ngunyi even made fun of it. Now, ordinary Kenyans were of course delighted, and Azimio supporters were very relieved that Uhuru and Raila are still reading from the same script. And so, at the end of it all, everybody missed the significance of the meeting with politicians in Kiambu, by the two major principles of the Azimio coalition, which most Kenyans believe were the rightful winners by a landslide of last August's elections. I saw just a handful of analysts who had an idea of what was going on, and they warned and told Kenyans, after this Kiambu meeting, wait for a political tsunami and nothing less. But the reaction from most Kenyans was one of being bored, not understanding what they were talking about. Well, on my show today, I am going to break down that meeting that has mostly been ignored by the mainstream media, but indeed was a very significant meeting. And I'm going to prove to you why. And I think the whole problem here, because I've not seen many analysts talking about this, the whole problem here is that this thing of massive party recruitment exercises is boring to most people. Most of us don't fully understand. We don't internalize or absorb what that really means. Because what has been happening over the last few days, is that ODM, Raila Odinga's party, has been on a very massive recruitment exercise, the most massive in recent days. Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee party has been doing the same. Now, do you want to tell me that that means nothing politically? That Uhuru and Raila are just wasting time on massive recruitment drives? Do you want to tell me that? Now I can see you already yawning, but hold your horses. That yawn will vanish very soon. Because clearly, Raila and Uhuru know something that the rest of the Kenyans do not know, do not have a clue about. That is what it really means. But let me throw in something even more exciting, to brighten up things a little. Do you think there's a link between the very much advertised, controversial collection of signatures by Azimio and Raila Odinga? The last time we heard from them is that they had collected over 10 million signatures from Kenyans all over the country. Do you think that may have a link to the massive party recruitment going on in ODM and Jubilee? Relax. We're going to break all this down shortly so that we fully understand that apart from the joy of seeing Uhuru and Raila together again after a very long time, there is also something else cooking that is huge and that will delight supporters of the two gentlemen. But let me summarize it like this, or give you a sneak preview. Okay? What is being cooked right now, if it was a boxing match, is the knockout blow for the current government. That is really what it is. I can't find any other way of describing it. Let me throw in something else. Many people are talking about 2027. And indeed it is true. Recruitment drives are done just before a general election. However, in this instance, all this drama, all this activity has nothing to do with 2027. Please trust me. It has nothing to do with 2027. 2027 is decades away politically. Yeah? What is being done has a lot to do with 2024. Very early in 2024. And in case you forgot, we just have a few days left in the year 2023. Okay? So let's just get that very firmly on our minds. Never mind what Professor Mutahi is saying. Never mind what your other favorite political analysts are saying. Doesn't matter. What we're going to speak about today is the reality. Stay with me for a most fascinating show. By the way, just a quick reminder, this is that season for Kumekuchans, to boost the Kumekucha channel. Thank you so much for those who have already responded. I'm indeed touched because of the response in these very hard times, and have been especially touched by some of you who are really feeling the pinch but could spare even a small amount as a vote of confidence for what I do on this channel. That really touched me. Somebody even gave 300. I was very grateful, very touched, because it's the thought that really matters. You can see the telephone number and details on your screens right now. You still have an opportunity, because in case you didn't know, December usually has very few days. There's some people vanish from the face of the earth after Jamhuri Day, never to be sighted again until early January the following year. That is what I mean. Although there are those of us who stick it out, we are around to continue doing what we do, because I also appreciate during these holidays you have a little more time in your hands, and therefore I try my best to unleash a lot of videos, all for a better Kenya. Now, the sponsor of today's show is Tudor Seaview Apartments. Now, Tudor is on this other side of the Nyali Bridge. You know you need to cross the Nyali Bridge to go to Kongowea, Nyali, Mtwapa, in fact the entire north coast. And there's some very beautiful apartments coming up that will have a view of the sea. Imagine getting home after a hard day and you unwind as bahari yote iko mbele yako. Wow. And you can secure your beautiful apartment. 1700 square feet. They're all 3 bedrooms. 1700 square feet goes for 10M. 11M is for 1900 square feet. And 2100 square feet goes for 12M. Beautiful, classy, upmarket apartments. Our sponsors for today's show, and information that I'm sure some of us can use. Because in my opinion, this is a solid investment that will leave you with quite a few options. You can rent it out, you can live there, you can do Airbnb, you can do so many things. You can see the telephone number and the details. Kindly get in touch with Mohammed for more details. These beautiful apartments will be complete in only a few months. Get the full details using the telephone number you see on your screens right now. Now, it is important that we all realize that Uhuru and Raila are not joking. Okay? The two gentlemen are very serious. And if you've been super observant, you will have noticed that a number of things have started changing politically. the fourth president of Kenya, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, is receiving too many foreign guests. What does that mean? If you took in my previous videos, you have a pretty good idea. Raila Odinga is also very busy. In my opinion, very busy confusing his opponents. And unfortunately, this confusion is spilling over even to his staunchest supporters. They have no idea what Agwambo is up to. They can't read him. They can't read his next move. Now, before we go any further, it is important that we all appreciate that Raila and Uhuru politics is very much about taking full advantage of opportunities. And right now, the political opportunities in Kenya are wide open. They are numerous and they're huge. And I believe we all know why. The cries of Ruto must go are growing louder and louder by the day. It is now very clear, even to those who are very slow in reading anything political, it is now very clear that the William Samoei Ruto administration has no idea about how to manage a country. That is very obvious now. It's not breaking news. It's not anything to shock anybody. It is obvious. And of course, that presents opportunity. We are now facing power rationing in the country. This thing could not have come at a worse time. And the Energy CS is telling us it is so as to avert those countrywide outages, no steamer anywhere in Kenya, that has been happening too frequently these days. Please be patient with me. We are coming to this devastating news about the Raila Uhuru meeting with Kiambu politicians. In my humble opinion, you cannot appreciate the full impact when you have not paid enough attention to the reality on the ground and why it presents very unique political opportunities for Raila and Uhuru. Now, there's something Davis Churchill, the Energy CS, said that most Kenyans did not believe. Okay? He said one of the contributing factors to this shortage of power in the lines, which he told us was the main cause of the countrywide blackouts, the demand surging suddenly and the supply not being there. One of the reasons he gave us is that some dams are dry. There isn't enough water. Now, hold on a minute. We know that most parts of Kenya right now are flooding. We all know that. So, what is Churchill talking about? Well, Masinga Dam, which is one of the 16 hydropower generating stations in the country, has not been supplying any electricity for a couple of weeks. I believe it's 2.5 months or so. In November it gave 0. In October it gave 0. In September it gave 0 megawatts. And this is one of the very super fascinating things that is unfolding in our country. While some certain areas have floods, others have serious dryness issues, drought. Okay? And Eastern has not been receiving any rain. The parts of the old Eastern province where we have these power stations has not been receiving rain when the rest of the country has been flooding. Of course, it started raining, I think a week or so ago. Interest rates have been raised, which will make borrowing very expensive. And that means less money in the economy. I'm telling you, the problems in Kenya are way too many. And new problems are escalating every other day. So in this kind of environment, don't you think it is a perfect storm for politicians who know what they're doing to get in and do wonders. And that is precisely what is unfolding currently. Now, for starters, if you want to do anything in the Mount Kenya region, the place to start is in Kiambu. Kiambu is very influential in the Mount Kenya region. I believe I've said the same many times on this channel. And don't make the mistake of thinking that Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee party is a small party. You know, there's some people who argue that the faction of Sabina Chege and company is much more powerful. Those are people who don't understand politics. Because a party is the strength of that party in the grassroots. The Jubilee party has got its roots in the grassroots right across the Mount Kenya region, including in Kiambu, where this meeting was held. Bottom line, if you want a serious maandamano and you don't have any grassroots structure of your party, your political party, then your maandamano are a non-starter. If you want to carry out massive civil disobedience to cripple the government and you don't have any branches, you're weak at the ward level, you're weak in the grassroots, in the villages, then that civil disobedience move is a non-starter. I'm giving you very big hints. And there's something else very significant we need to take careful note of. Until now, Raila Odinga has been unsellable. It has not been able to sell Raila Odinga politically in the Mount Kenya region. It has been impossible, okay? Mainly because of historical reasons. Some people took some oaths a long time ago. Coupled with the way our politics has been going, it has been very difficult to sell Raila Odinga in the Mount Kenya region. But now an opportunity has presented itself. A man called William Samoei Ruto has made Raila Odinga wildly popular in the Mount Kenya region. I mean, Raila Odinga has never been this popular. Trust me. And therefore, in my opinion, it made perfect sense for Uhuru to go with Raila to this meeting with politicians, Jubilee politicians, in Kiambu County. It makes perfect sense to me. It is to solidify and strengthen this support for Raila Odinga. Yeah? And again I repeat, it is not for 2027. No way. And therefore, my friends, do not be surprised when things start happening in the Mount Kenya region. Indeed, things have already started happening in the Mount Kenya region. A man who is very popular, called Maina Njenga, has been very busy in the region. And don't forget, Bwana Njenga is a Uhuru man. He has always been, for your information, mostly chini ya maji, but now I think it is beginning to emerge out into the open in this season of exposure and revelations. You know, some of us have very emotional feelings, negative emotional feelings towards the Mount Kenya region, yeah, which does not change the very important fact that the Mount Kenya region is key in the country called Kenya. If the professor of politics himself, the late second president of Kenya, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, tried very hard to make the Mount Kenya region irrelevant and failed miserably, I don't think anybody else can succeed in doing the same. And it is for a very simple reason. The Mount Kenya region is an economic powerhouse in the country called Kenya. And so, for instance, if the Mount Kenya region speaks with one voice and decides to make a certain move in civil disobedience, then you can be sure Kenya will ground to a halt. Like them, hate them, whatever, that does not change the fact, the solid fact. And the signs on the ground are very clear. Yeah? The Mount Kenya region is uniting as one behind the Jubilee party and retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. That one, if you've not seen it, I don't know. I don't know I can help you. But that is already happening. And as we were being told very clearly during this Kiambu meeting with leaders, when the Mount Kenya region unites behind the Jubilee party and Uhuru Kenyatta, they are also uniting behind, by extension, Raila Odinga. And therefore, it is okay. You can keep on ignoring what Uhuru is doing with the Jubilee party. You can keep on ignoring this meeting that took everybody by surprise of Raila and Uhuru in Kiambu, meeting the leaders there. It is okay. You can keep on ignoring it. But one thing I assure you, what is going to follow shortly, which is very relevant to these things that have been happening in the Mount Kenya region, will hit you very hard. And so, it is better to sit up and pay attention early. And then it will not take you so much by surprise. Now, very quickly before I go, we still have those slots for anybody interested in sponsoring a Kumekucha video. Our sponsors so far report very positive results, which confirms that we reach a very unique audience. In case you're interested, you'll find details in the description area below this video. WIB number 116 is out. Has been out for a couple of days now. And those who have taken it in have had some very interesting comments. And generally, they have found that it has helped them a lot to understand many of the confusing things that are unfolding in our politics right now. You can take full advantage of our latest offer, 2005 Kenya shillings, and that is the year the Kumekucha brand was launched, May 2005, in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And in case you want to take this subscription via PayPal, it is only $15. And of course, you'll receive all the back editions since we started of the weekly intelligence briefings, well over 100. And then you'll be able to continue receiving at least another 52 weekly intelligence briefings, 1 year subscription. And that means that if in a year we have not yet produced 52, your subscription runs until you get your 52 editions of the highly sensitive, very informative weekly intelligence briefings. Go for it. I highly recommend it. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.